ladies and gentlemen in storytelling land. Welcome, Sylvia Hubbard.
Hello, thanks for having me. After leaving my marriage back in 2002, I knew I had to find my beautiful because I didn't know myself or love myself. Since I could remember, the world has never been kind to my physical features. My forehead was too big, my nose was too large, and my lips were too full. And I had a small waist, so I had wide birthing hips. Now, in Africa, I would have been crowned queen, and I'd have been at the top of the marriage market if I was there. But in America, I was just this thick chick. And then there was this messy, gooey inside going on in me. It took years to truly love myself. I I did realize though the secret power to being phenomenally beautiful actually came from Maya Angelou. And she gave me literally the map to find my umph. And she called it the phenomenal woman. That's me. My umph was found at the bottom of my Pandora's box. And I had, in order to be loved, I had to dig down into the ugly sadness and dark thoughts and stubborn habits. Um, I realized that everyone can see my light bulb, but very few saw the filament. And that's where my phenomenal lied, my I had to love all the other stuff so I could experience the powerful beauty that was within. As a romance writer, I can imagine love 20 million different ways. Like, I literally have the happily ever after all just mapped out in my head. So, in reality, I know I can't settle just for anything. I really understand the true depth of love after writing about it for 20 years. But I know I'm God's gift to the world. And He saved the best for last when He created woman. And it's in the reach of my arms, the wideness of my hips, the confidence in my step, and the smile on my lips. I understood it would take an extraordinary soul to see the my phenomenal beauty from inside and out. You see, there's this look people give me when they can see my light bulb. And as years passed, I could never see that look in a man's eyes that told me he saw my filament, that hard working piece of string that keeps the light bulb so bright. Because you see, my uncle was just so magnificent, even the sun had to put on shades just to look my way. I came to understand no man could ever give me that look that would tell me he was brave enough to open my Pandora's box and love everything inside and deserve my own. I accepted the fact that the man I needed to have by my side was most likely not of this planet. And until this universal alien came to Earth, I was really okay being alone for the rest of my life. But I was still a woman and I still like to go out, and I treated dating as fun food dates. Like I said, I am a thick chick and I don't miss any meals. Food trumps everything in my book, and I am not a salad eating woman. So on these food dates, I would question them to death and put all my cards on the table. My life didn't begin when we said hello. I don't play any games. I don't fall in love easily. And I am a blessing and a curse. Usually they never heard back from them after the second date, but that was okay. Aliens hadn't arrived on Earth, and my kids were starting to prepare to leave the nest. So I had actually started to get a cat. I was thinking about like, okay, what kind of cat? What should I get? That is until hashtag made my night dropped into my DM. He told the corniest jokes, but he was nice to talk to. And we talked over the phone, email, and text messages with only a couple of pictures between the two of us to really show how we looked. And he didn't mind the ugly sadness, the dark thoughts, or the stubborn habits because that's what friends do. Really, but all this time I was thinking about like, really, should I get a calico cat or just a black cat or like a coon mane? Made my night and I decided to develop a safe word though, because we needed to sometimes reset the conversation as we were, finding out about each other, or things suddenly felt uncomfortable. So one person would say hi, and the other person had to respond hi back. And then after 3 months, he asked me out on a date, but not on a regular date. Some of his coworkers were coming into Detroit, and he was coming with them and asked if I could meet them at the bar where they were going to eat. I didn't give him a definite answer because that would involve me putting on a bra. And if anybody know me, they know I hate bras. Literally, I looked at my bra drawer for an hour before making a decision to put one on because there was food at the bar. So that's a good excuse to go. I arrived 20 minutes early, and I could see when he came in with his coworkers, walking into the bar, and I determined that he would make a really good food date. So I called him to let him know I was there. And when he came out, it was going on evening. So I wasn't worried he would see my big head, my thick nose, and full lips and wide hips. But before we could say anything, I hugged him and he said hi. And I said hi back. We found a spot outside on the terrace of the bar and we just talked and talked. um, Made my night was really different. He spoke in honesty and really big words. And as a writer, I was immediately hooked on everything he had to say. And for the first time, I forgot about food and just enjoyed being a woman with a man. But the night came to the end, and even though I had enjoyed myself, I still put my cards on the table. My life did not begin when we said hello. I don't play any games. I don't fall in love easily, and I am a blessing and a curse. To my surprise, he asked me for a second date, and we were going to meet in the daylight this time. And he arrived actually before me. Now, as I walked toward him in the restaurant, he stood up and he looked at me. He saw me and smiled, and I knew he gazed at my and his smile got wider. I remember that night he said, I wish you could see how beautiful inside and out you are through my eyes. And this really touched me because when you know you're phenomenal, but you meet a man who thinks you're 10 times more beautiful than what you think you are, you definitely should keep him. From that point, we were dating. 4 months later, I confessed I loved him. Our highs were no longer to reset the conversation. To us, high meant I love you. I respect you. I appreciate you. I see you. Our love was bigger than me or him. It became this us. We saw each other as phenomenal, and it was a yin to our yang, and we celebrated each other's faults. He gave me gifts every woman needs, but I had never had from a man. It was flower vases, birthday cards, hand holding in the middle of the night, laughter, lots of laughter, and most importantly, a reason to wear white again. 4 years later, I walked down the aisle to become his infinite best friend and wife. And when I got to the altar and stood in front of him, I said hi, and he said hi back. And that word was more powerful than any wedding vow. I'm far from thinking about a cat. I am grateful that made my night found me, and I found a bra. Every day I get to wake up and look into the eyes of a man who sees my phenomenal and has given me a romance story that I could never imagine. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome story, Sylvia. If I was wearing pearls, I'd be clutching them. You took us on a stroll down Love Lane for real. That was awesome. You lit up the chat room. You just go. I love it. I love it. Love, everybody. It's about love. Okay, before I lose my mind, well, I'm going to move right along to our next storyteller. That was great, Sylvia. I got to say that one more time. Our next storyteller, I asked the question, is love a verb? And she responded by saying, absolutely. Love is a verb in constant motion.